Reoccurring infections like UTIs, vaginal yeast infections, mastitis, and ear infections are more than just frustrating and painful. They are a sign that something deeper is going on in your body. They show up, go away for a while, and then come back with even more intensity. If you've dealt with this cycle, you know it can feel relentless, and the questions loom. Why do they keep coming back? What's happening inside the body that makes us so prone to this cycle of infection, treatment, and reoccurrence? The answer is in your gut. Today, we're talking all about why your gut health is so important in fighting and keeping infections away. Welcome to Follow Your Gut. I'm your host, Juniper. If you found yourself here, it means you're ready to unlock the happiest and healthiest version of yourself and step into your role as the most confident leader of your family's wellness. Together, we'll navigate the path to optimal health and vitality. Let's dive in and transform your life. An infection occurs when harmful pathogens, whether bacteria, yeast, or other microorganisms, find their way into your body and start multiplying. Now, a healthy body is well equipped to fend off these invaders thanks to our immune system. But the strength of our immune response is intimately tied to our gut health. Our gut is home to 70 to 80% of our immune cells. That's a massive share of our immune system. When the gut is balanced and functioning smoothly, it forms a strong line of defense. But when this balance is disrupted, whether it's due to an overgrowth of harmful bacteria, yeast, mold, fungus, or even parasites, the body becomes more vulnerable to infections. With too few beneficial bacteria and an overgrowth of bad, the gut becomes a breeding ground for pathogens that can trigger infections throughout the body. So, why does a gut imbalance lead to reoccurring infections? It often starts with factors that weaken our gut microbiome over time. High stress, for example, triggers the release of cortisol, a hormone that can disrupt the gut lining and diminish the beneficial bacteria we rely on for defense. Medications, including laxatives, birth control, or antibiotics, they're taken to fight a previous infection, can further strip away beneficial bacteria, leaving gaps for harmful pathogens to thrive. Unavoidable exposure to toxins, chemicals, and heavy metals, and of course, dietary choices like high sugar intake, processed foods, and alcohol can feed the harmful bacteria and yeast, contributing to imbalance. Once the gut is disrupted, our immune response is weakened and inflammation increases. Chronic low grade inflammation might not feel obvious daily, but it builds up over time. It wears down your body's defenses. Infections, by nature, trigger inflammation as the body tries to fight them off. But if we're already inflamed due to an unknown gut imbalance, we're essentially stacking inflammation on top of inflammation. This creates an environment where pathogens can easily take hold, turning our bodies into prime environments for reoccurring infections. I want you to visualize this scenario. If your gut is imbalanced, but you don't necessarily know it, and then you get a urinary tract infection, for example, the traditional treatment is antibiotics. While antibiotics can be effective in killing the bacteria that's causing the infection, they also kill the beneficial bacteria in your gut. This creates a vicious cycle where each infection and its treatment further weakens the gut, making you even more prone to the next infection. In this sense, antibiotics act almost like a band-aid that keeps a wound too moist to heal. They may temporarily stop the immediate infection, but they don't address the root imbalance that sets the stage for reoccurrence. And in fact, they exacerbate the deeper issue, right? So let's break this down for some of the infections commonly linked to gut imbalances. First, we're going to go back into UTIs. When the gut is out of balance, pathogenic bacteria can overpopulate and spread, eventually finding their way to your urinary tract. With a weakened immune response, these bacteria can easily take hold, which leads to painful, reoccurring UTIs. Now let's talk about vaginal yeast infections. The delicate balance of bacteria and yeast in the vaginal microbiome relies heavily on a healthy gut. When gut bacteria become depleted, yeast strains like Candida can grow out of control, which leads to yeast infections. Mastitis for breastfeeding mamas. This is a bacterial infection in the breast tissue, often stemming from a weakened immune system. An imbalanced gut microbiome reduces our ability to fight off bacteria, triggering inflammation and infection in the breast. Now let's go into ear infections. When your gut health is compromised, systematic inflammation increases and the immune system's ability to fight off infections in the ear canal is reduced. This leads to repeated ear infections. These are just a few examples, but this pattern of reoccurring infections can also include sinus infections, strep throat, bronchitis, and even skin infections like boils and acne. The cycle continues, leading to inflammation and eventually a weakened immune system that becomes more and more vulnerable to infections. To break this cycle, it's important to heal the body from the gut outward. This is exactly what the women's and children's gut rebalance kits are designed to do. Rather than temporarily managing symptoms or simply killing off the current pathogen, these kits target the root of the problem by not only killing the pathogens, but restoring balance to the gut microbiome. The rebalancing process works by selectively killing harmful bacteria, yeast, and other pathogens while allowing your good bacteria to thrive. This creates an environment where the immune system can naturally fight off infections. Rather than the body constantly inflaming and fighting, it shifts to a calm, resilient state. Antibiotics can, yes, of course, be life-saving when they are absolutely necessary, but when used unnecessarily or repeatedly, they are really harmful. Think of your body as a garden. Beneficial bacteria are like the healthy plants and flowers that you spend so much time planting, while harmful bacteria are the weeds. Antibiotics act like a powerful weed killer, wiping out not only the weeds, but also the healthy plants. When the weeds start growing back, they often do so faster and stronger, having adapted to the treatment, while the healthy plants struggle to reestablish themselves in the now compromised soil. This is why rebalancing the gut is so powerful. It's about cultivating and nurturing the beneficial bacteria so that they can naturally keep the pathogens, the weeds, in check. Once this balance is restored, the cycle of reoccurring infections is broken. Rebalancing isn't a quick fix. It's a gradual foundational approach. It takes time to build up the beneficial bacteria that will protect you in the long run. But it's a sustainable solution, unlike the temporary relief offered by antibiotics. Ultimately, this isn't just about avoiding antibiotics or reducing infections. It's about creating lasting resilience and wellness from within your body. With rebalancing, you're not just treating the current infection, you're building a foundation of health that will guard against future infections and support a strong, resilient body. So if you or your child have been stuck in this cycle, know that there is another way. By investing in your gut health, you're breaking this cycle and healing your body from the ground up. Thank you for joining me in today's episode of Follow Your Gut. If we don't know each other, I'm Juniper Bennett. I'm a homeschooling mama to my 4 children, a dedicated microbiome specialist, certified family health coach, author of the Microbiome Cookbook, and the founder of ōnlē Organics. a supplement and education brand focused on women and children's gut health. Make sure to subscribe to the Nourished newsletter so you never miss an episode. Along with everything else mentioned in today's episode, there is a link for you to subscribe right below in the show notes. Lastly, it's important for you to know that the information shared on this podcast is based on my personal experiences and research. Please always trust your own inner voice of wisdom and your healthcare professional. Until next time.